mature age, Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander considering further study at university? Are you studying at TAFE and looking for the next step? Would your career be enhanced by achieving a further qualification?
I've always wanted to get into university, and I guess when I left school it was never really an option for me. No one in my family's ever done anything like that, and it wasn't really a path that was set out before me, but I knew I wanted to get there eventually. So I've done a few TAFE courses, and I did a diploma with Tranby College, and it was all in preparation to somehow get into uni, but I still didn't know how. It's not about just giving everything. Didn't realise the opportunity was there for me, so I took it.
The University of New South Wales is keen to help Indigenous people who want to study any of its 300 plus courses, available across its 9 faculties.
So if you've studied, say, finance as an undergraduate, and you now want to take it a step further and learn about finance in depth,
the Indigenous Spring Forum 2.5-day residential program can help you to determine the pathway to achieving your goals at UNSW.
Complete an MBA and start a family business.
We piloted it last year in business, and we're really excited because this year it's across all faculties. It's for mature age and Torres Strait and Aboriginal people, and it's really a chance for them to engage in what options they have at university, but also a really opportunity for us, everyone in the room, to learn and engage off all of our experiences.
The UNSW Indigenous Spring Forum is held at the Australian Graduate School of Management. This year, 20 successful applicants who have the potential to be future students attended.
I think we're going from 19 to 60 in terms of age range. By mature age, we're actually just saying over 18.
Age is not a barrier. I think we learn, at all stages of our life. It's been 20 years, over 20 years since I did my first degree. So it's going to be new. It's going to be a different environment. It can only add value.
No matter what life experience I had, unless you got a big piece of paper which says you're someone, then people listen to you. And sometimes people, as you know, have had a lot of knowledge, training, but they've never had the life experience. So it's easy to say you understand, but when you've been there, you know where they're coming from, you know what mindset. So I thought for me to truly be heard, I have to get a bit of academical behind me, so then I can put everything in practice and my voice can be heard truly to help as many as I can. With all my work that I've done with Aboriginal people, they always need someone else to stand up for them.
During the Spring Forum, students learn about UNSW and the university learns more about how to support the needs of Indigenous students.
They can think outside of the usual constraints of how they would deliver in a tertiary sector, to include the way we think, the way we do our business and the way we are, I suppose, as Aboriginal people, and so that can be recognised in the classroom, in our assessments, what we might want to focus on and why that is, and to just value that as important, something we don't often get in education.
Delilah is a public servant from Rockhampton in Queensland with over 30 years of professional experience and an undergraduate degree. She thinks she'd like to do a Masters of Business Administration in the Australian School of Business.
I believe now it's time to use that knowledge and experience I've got. So I have an interest in doing an MBA and using that knowledge in terms of public policy, but I'm open to ideas about what other directions I might go in.
Undergraduate is someone who hasn't completed a degree. I was really hoping that they would help me find exactly which path I would be taking. I already know I want to do science, but I know I've got other interests as well, music, arts. How at all, if I can combine all of those, or if, what I'm sort of looking at. Hopefully by the end of this I've got a very clear idea of when to apply, how to apply, and exactly when it's all happening.
The engagement and participation across everyone is fantastic. There's been lots of really fantastic questions. We've been able to unpack a whole lot of, identify what the needs are of the participants and start to talk to that.
It is PhD, but yeah, right Dan, because we know doesn't mean someone else knows.
There's been a lot of cross engagement, which has meant people have shared a lot of different experience.
Slightly. Oh, you should put like a doctorate on there as well.
Well, that's something you can ask anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty vibrant, participatory thing, and the participants on the whole have just been tremendous.
After initial introductions, 2 days of structured activities help participants to assess their own abilities and motivations, and helps them to visualise how study can enhance their lives.
My blood's pumping, eh? My heart's pumping like crazy. I'm sitting there talking with the older fellas, young fellas, and the prospects of what we're embarking on. It makes my blood boil. I can't believe that I'm this close to achieving something. So it's that combining that wealth, that spiritual wealth, along with the material wealth. So
my experience over this forum and the previous forum and my engagement with everybody from UNSW has shown me that that is a real opportunity for us to come to here and to be heard and to have change occur within the bureaucracy that is sometimes an institute, but also in the learning that we actually get to engage with.
I think it's got to be like a personal thing. Yeah, you've got to connect with it. Like, I don't think any of my white friends from home would listen to that. They'd probably hear it and be like, what the hell is this?
It means that we get to have more of our mobs come through the doors of tertiary university, and then they can take that capacity that they've had in that learning back to their communities, and even if it's not to their communities, still working within sector to create change for us.
When you're in this place and you are sometimes often the only black face in the classroom, you learn so much about the deficiencies that are in our society when it comes to Aboriginal people talking about what we need, what we want, and what is it going to help us in our communities. And so I actually became, this place, it activated me, it radicalized me, and I'll always be really, really appreciative of that.
We are all part of Australia, and that opportunity for them to, there's on all the layers, just seeing us in this space, breaking down those myths that we can't engage, an opportunity for them to think about actually looking at how they engage in education and maybe taking up more of the opportunities. And academia can look at the way they deliver that education. Everybody gets an opportunity then to do that differently, not just us.
The activities are designed to help you identify your strengths and potential challenges to university study.
You can become as rich as you want, to be the richest person in the world, but you're still a black person and proud of that and want to be that person. And you've got that cultural integrity, that cultural part of you that says, look at me, I'm bloody rich, but I'm black too.
I feel I want to be successful. That's my passion, that's my drive.
Participants can find out more about their chosen courses by talking with staff and students.
What's happening here is our faculty round table. It's like our mini open day. So it's an opportunity for all participants to meet a number of the faculties at University of New South Wales to talk to their questions about what different courses are on offer, what kind of subjects they can study, what kind of combination of studies they can study, whether it's a Masters in Public Health, whether it's a pathway program into business or law, whether it's an MBA, whether it's studying with the Centre of Social Impact, whether it's a science degree, whether it's COFA, College of Fine Arts. It's the nitty-gritty of what the degrees are and what areas it can be.
Said maybe I could try and do a Bachelor of Arts of some sort that combines photography.
What you're looking at doing, this would give you all the correct skills to have those professional certifications and qualifications so that you could work in those industries when you finish your degree.
In terms of, like, what would you advise? Like, 'cause I'm really interested in science and how the world works.
After the initial sessions, students go their own pathways and visit the faculty of their choice.
This is kind of behind the scenes where we prepare our biologists. Yeah, we study things like, the sensory system, so the ear and the eye and all that, and look at the kidneys and the heart.
It's unreal, like, the excitement I can see, and brother, that's exactly how I feel. And when you go see those labs and you see the work that they do, man, it just really fires you up, drives you, yeah. Like, especially to think that we'll come from where I come from, and then like Mount Druitt, and then one day thinking you could be working in a lab as a scientist, you know what I mean? Just sometimes you kind of want to slap yourself in the face.
During the Meet the Academic session, a panel of UNSW academics talk about their teaching and research passions and how university has enabled them to be effective, including in their own Indigenous communities.
I thought to myself, well, I eat McDonald's and I drive a car and I speak English, but am I really Aboriginal? So at that stage I didn't really understand how the labels, how the people impose identities on us.
Learning about what identity is, and that's really huge. I took this subject last semester. It was about Australian identities, and I thought, oh wow, I never really thought about it because I just think of myself as a blackfellow, And then I thought, well, it makes you think about who you are, how do you identify, in which way do you identify to different people.
When my first year at university, I did creative arts at University of Wollongong, and I couldn't believe how much I didn't know, and the more you know, the more you want to learn, and then everything else is just not important anymore.
Or I've got to get some research done over here, or I've got to attend that lecture. That becomes the norm.
In the Spring Forum, academics and students talk realistically about their challenges and strategies for getting through university, despite life's ups and downs.
To do a PhD, whilst I had young kids and still have kids. And so it's taken me a long time. I've studied part-time and worked full-time generally, at the moment working part-time. But I've really enjoyed doing both, and the PhD has allowed me to understand the world a little bit better and how I'm positioned in it.
And the formal Spring Forum dinner invites successful Indigenous leaders and role models to speak about how university studies help them to achieve their goal, and many participants shared their stories.
2 weeks ago, we were driving around the city and my little brother says to me, "Danny boy, I just wanted to tell you something." He looked at UTS and he said, "That's the university, I'm going to go there." And that just touched me straight away. And then my little sister turned around and said the same thing. She said, "Danny boy, I'm going to go to university too."
Coming to the Spring Forum has made me decide that this is the university that I want to go to. Going to the law faculty and knowing some of their course content has actually made me really motivated and inspired to come here just because of the Indigenous component that they have at the law school.
Yes, I will go to university. The Spring Forum has definitely confirmed it in a way that, especially with all the guest speakers we had.
Yes, I will come to university, and I think overall everyone's inspired me at the forum, all the speakers, all the lecturers that have come in.
I've just met some wonderful people. It's reaffirmed my view that to study at UNSW would be a good idea. It's got a real community spirit, and I feel a commitment to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, so that's great for me.
What we see and what happens here and the ripple effects, I think, are going to go beyond just this university. We have, our 20 participants saying going back to their community, knowing knowledgeably about what's on offer here, and that it's legitimate, and that it's not tokenism, and that it's like people are interested and they're happy to challenge and willing to challenge and to learn and research, and that there's a whole lot of people across that want people to be here, not for a numbers, not for a tick box, but because they add value to what research is, to what all those different disciplines are, and I think that's an extraordinary feast.
Now that it's coming to an end, my blood's still boiling and I'm still on fire, still hot. I guess because now I'm closer to my goal, closer to my dream, and I know what's available to me, I know the prospects that are there, and I know that I can do it.
If you're inspired to go to university too, you can find out more about UNSW's Indigenous Spring Forum at their website nuragili.unsw.edu.au, or contact Nuragili's Indigenous Program Centre at UNSW on 02 9385 1559.